My name is Janae Devika, and I'm the founder of Cafe Janae. I just want to give you a little bit of my background so you know where I'm coming from and why I'm here and what I want to do to serve you and help you. I am a nurse, registered nurse, and right now I'm in grad school to get my nurse practitioner's license. So in a year and a half, I'll be a doctorate. I'll have my doctorate of nursing license. And so that's my medical background. I've worked in hospitals and clinics for over the years as a nurse. And what I noticed was the people that were coming into the hospital over and over again and the people that are coming into the clinics, 90% of them are there for the same reason. Can anybody guess what that reason is? Good guess. That's the closest so far. Food-induced illness. Okay, these are illnesses that are caused by the food we're putting into our mouths every single day. So go ahead and just start shouting out what food-induced illnesses you're aware of. What kind of food-induced illness? Diabetes? What else? Celiac disease, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune diseases. What about arthritis? What about fibromyalgia? Alzheimer's? Vision loss, hearing loss. Anything else? All the food-induced illnesses, that's right. A lot of the cancers. There are some cancers like colon cancer that's 95% caused by your diet. And if you change your diet, you reduce your risk of colon cancer by 95%. So some cancers are like that. Anything else? Migraine headaches, infertility problems, hair loss, psoriasis, eczema, allergies, Crohn's disease, absolutely, candida. Okay, all of these, there's more. The list goes on and on forever. Depression, most people don't know that. Depression is generally a food-induced illness. Okay, any others? Gout, absolutely gout. Okay, all of these diseases are diseases that are induced by the food we eat every day. So if food is causing all of these problems, what is the cure? Food. Everybody, all at once. Food, acquire, right? Okay, sing food. Okay, so the question is then, what kind of foods cause disease or contribute to the disease process, and what kinds of foods contribute to a healthy body? That is going to be one of the topics of our conversation today. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background so you know where I'm coming from personally. So that's where I'm coming from professionally, is seeing people come into the clinics and the hospitals over and over again with these food-induced illnesses. And what do the doctors give them? Pharmaceuticals. Do the pharmaceuticals cure the problem? No, what do? They cover up the symptoms of the problem. The problem continues and it actually progresses. And then the patients have to come back in for what? More drugs, additional drugs. And if they keep getting lots and lots of drugs and the drugs aren't working anymore, what's the next step? Surgery. Okay, you've just been through the medical school algorithm, okay? So one drug, then more drugs, then as many drugs as you can handle until they don't work anymore, then surgery. That's the medical school algorithm. And the problem is what they don't teach people in medical school, none of the doctors have any nutritional education at all. If they have one semester, one credit of nutrition class that's based on the FDA food pyramid, they're lucky. That's about it. And if 95% or 90 to 95% of the patients coming in are there because of food-induced illnesses and the doctors are getting zero training on nutrition, how well do you think the doctors are going to be able to address the problems that the patients are coming in with? It's very unlikely. And that's why I decided not to work in a hospital, not to work in a clinic. I decided to devote my life and my profession to educating people so that they could prevent and reverse their chronic illnesses through food choices and lifestyle choices and stress management choices. Those are the three things that cause the most diseases. I want to educate you how to keep yourself healthy. And if you're not healthy, how to reverse whatever chronic illness you have. And so that you can live to be 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 and not be in a nursing home crumbling away with degenerative disease, not be sick, not be full of on 20 medications like most old people are. Okay, that is my goal, is to teach you how to do that so you can improve your quality of life every single day and be healthy and robust and have longevity until the day you die. Now, that's where I'm coming from professionally. Where I'm coming from personally is, as a child, I grew up very sick. I can remember being 6 or 7 years old, And I was sick all the time. I had food allergies, I had environmental allergies, I had immune system problems, I had strep throat probably once a month. I was missing school all the time, I was miserable, and as I got older, it didn't get better, it got worse. And my mom would take me to all the doctors. Of course, being the caring mother that she was, she took me to the doctors, and what did they do? They put me on antibiotics. They put me on stomach acid pills. They put me on birth control pills. They put me on all sorts of different medications, and none of them really worked. And then once the medication stopped working, okay, medical school students, next step in algorithm is surgery. Right, so then they started saying, well, it looks like this organ's not working, and for me it was my colon that was the biggest issue. My colon had stopped working about by the time I was 8 or 9, and I could take a whole bottle of laxatives, nothing would happen. And so I was very toxic, very sick, and so they were giving me first the herbal laxatives and then all the pharmaceutical laxatives, and when that didn't work, by the time I was 19 or 20, they told me the only way you're ever going to get better is if you get your large intestine or your colon removed and part of your small intestine. That's the only way you'll ever get better. Well, of course I didn't want to do that, so I said, no, we're going to find a different way. So we started looking into naturopathic doctors, and we did homeopathy, we did herbs, we did all sorts of crazy diets, all sorts of different therapies, energy working, body working, and some of those things helped a little bit, but nothing really fixed the problem, and I continued to progress, getting sicker and sicker. And by the time I was 20, how old was I, 22 or 23, I had liver failure, I had kidney failure, and my colon completely stopped working. Nothing would make it go at all, and it was a matter of I either had to have the surgery or good luck, you have a week to live. And so I was at a point of desperation where we finally did the surgery, and I had my intestines removed. Well, what happens when you don't have a large intestine and a good chunk of your small intestine's gone? They told me if you eat fiber now, you will get what's called an ileus, where your intestines totally shut down and you can die. So don't eat fiber, no fruits, no vegetables, no whole grains, no mushrooms, no nuts and seeds. All of that is out of bounds. What you need to eat, the only thing you can eat without dying is kind of how they framed it, is white bread, meat, and dairy products. That's it. And so I believed them. I had been so sick for so long, I wanted to get better, and I was like, okay. So I was on that diet for a few years. As you can imagine, didn't go so well. I had very high blood pressure, very high cholesterol, I had horrible acne, my hair was falling out, I had migraine headaches, I had horrible menstrual cramps, they thought I had endometriosis, I had muscle weakness, I was in and out of the hospital all the time, my immune system had tanked, vision problems. So I was a mess, and I had continued looking for the answer. In the meantime, I wasn't just eating crap and being fine with it. I was still looking for the answer, and in my search for an answer, I looked into this therapy. It's called foot zonology, and they had a foot zonology institute out in the middle of Montana. And I decided, okay, maybe it won't heal me completely, but maybe it'll take me a step in the right direction. So I went to this 3-week camp in the middle of Montana out by Yellowstone. And what I didn't know when I signed up for this adventure was that it was out in the middle of nowhere, 100 miles from the nearest gas station or grocery store. There was nothing around for miles, and I had to eat only what they had at that place. It was room and board included. And so I got there, and the diet they had me on was a raw food, whole food, plant-based diet. 90% of it was raw fruits and vegetables, which I hadn't eaten very much of in the last several years. The other 10% was raw nuts and seeds and some cooked grains, like non-glutinous grains like millet and quinoa and stuff like that. And that's what I lived on for 3 weeks, with no access to the outside world, no access to anything else. Well, before, my calorie count had been like 4,000 calories a day of cheese and butter and bread and all that good stuff. And I got there and it went down to about 900 calories a day, because really, how much of that stuff can you chew in one day? Not very much. So in 3 weeks, I lost 30 pounds. My cholesterol, when I got back, my cholesterol was down to normal. My blood pressure was back to normal. My acne had cleared up. My migraines were gone. I felt good for really the first time in my whole life. Now, I wouldn't recommend cleansing and healing that fast. It was a torturous process. I remember calling Brian on the phone and crying. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in fat camp or drug rehab. I don't know. It's just terrible. I hate it here. And so it was painful. But when I came back, I was able to connect the dots. And it was then that I realized, wow, what I put in my mouth is directly correlated to how I feel and how my body functions. For the first time, I could predict, if I stick this in my mouth, this is going to be the outcome. I'd had a sore throat and swollen glands for 5 years straight. Never went away. And after 3 weeks, my sore throat was gone and my swollen glands were gone for the first time in 5 years. When I went home, I was starving to death. Of course, I just lost 30 pounds in 3 weeks. I was starving, so what was the first thing I headed to? I headed to the pasta and the cheese and the Alfredo sauce, and I was just like, okay, I got to make up for lost time. And within 5 minutes, my sinus headache came back, my sore throat came back, my glands got swollen. It was that immediate. And then I was able to get really good feedback from my body. Anytime I ate something that was not good for me, my body would give me feedback because I was finally to the place where I felt good for the first time in my whole life. As I progressed over the years, I found that some diets, like for instance, I looked into the vegan diet, the macrobiotic diet, vegetarian, raw food diet. I looked into all the health diets. And I just started observing some things. And I noticed that some of my vegan friends, although they weren't eating animal products, they looked kind of pale and skinny and emaciated. They didn't really look that healthy. And so I thought, okay, if this is really a healthy diet, why don't they look like they're thriving and healthy? And my raw food friends that were on a 100% raw food diet, I noticed that they would be feeling great for a little while, but after they were on the raw food diet for a certain amount of time, they'd start to lose their energy, they'd start to not feel so good. And so as I looked into each one of the diets, I saw that there were parts of the diet, and diet by diet I mean food choice, parts of the diet that worked really well for people, and it created a robust, thriving, happy, healthy, really glowing person. And then there were parts of it that didn't work out so well, and it made them either not feel good or not look good. So I started putting all these pieces together into this big puzzle. And I came up with a formula that can be applied to pretty much anybody, because this is a meet you where you're at formula. So what I figured out is there's a spectrum of healthy choices. And in that spectrum of healthy choices, so let's say you are on a standard American diet. You're eating pizza and burgers and soda. And so you're down at this end of the spectrum, right? To upgrade to healthy food choices, you can start replacing your processed carbohydrates with whole grains and natural sugars, okay, or like honey and natural sweeteners and stuff like that. So you can make that jump to just replacing refined food with whole foods, but kind of eating the same thing. So instead of a refined pizza, you're having a whole food pizza. Does that make sense? So that's at this end of the spectrum. And then as you continue up the spectrum, kind of like at this end is a raw food vegan diet, okay, so that's like the ultra cleansing diet. But on this spectrum, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the middle. And depending on where you are with your health, where you are with your knowledge, where you are with your health education, you can pick a point on that spectrum and say, I'm here, and here's where I want to be. This is my goal, and you can gradually work up the spectrum. And I found that this works really well for people. Another part of the other diets that didn't work was saying, okay, you have to be a raw food vegan, go, do it 100%. And it sets you up for failure from the very start, because that is a big change to make in a short period of time, and our bodies and our brains and our emotions are hardwired to keep us stable and to keep us where we're at. And so if you try to make that kind of big jump all at once, it doesn't work. And so what I figured out is there are commonalities between all the diets that are the same, that create robust, awesome, amazing, glowing health. And here's what the commonalities are that I found. First commonality is a whole foods diet. That means no processed food. Instead of white flour, we're going to be using the whole wheat grain. Instead of white sugar, we're going to be using a non-processed sweetener like raw local honey or stevia. Okay, so that's the difference between a processed food and a non-processed food. So number one commonality is a whole foods, non-refined diet. The second commonality was that it had to be a plant-based diet. Not necessarily a completely vegan diet that says no animal products at all, but a majority of it, meaning around 90 to 95% of it, is plant-based. The third commonality was that it was a high raw diet, meaning most of the things you were eating were not cooked. It was fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, uncooked things that were full of enzymes and full of all those live plants' beneficial properties. And the fourth thing I found was it was a diet that was high in cultured and probiotic foods. So those four things were the commonalities that kind of gelled together all the healthy diets that I'd looked into, and those were the properties of the diets that really made people thrive. And so I started, people that saw me before when I was sick, they knew that I was really close to death. And when I got healthy, it took me a couple years to get healthy. And then they would come and see me and they say, well, what did you do? You look awesome. How did you do that? And how did you get rid of your high blood pressure? How did you get rid of your high cholesterol? How did you get rid of your hypoglycemia? How did you do that? And so I was able to start sharing my knowledge with people. And after a while, I had so many people asking me the same question over and over again that's why I started teaching classes, so I can share this with everybody in a kind of a group format. So what we're going to talk about today is, since I'm a nurse, we're going to do a little bit of nursing or medical school. We're going to talk about some anatomy and physiology today. Our bodies are self-regenerating organisms. Okay, and what that means is our bodies are built up, the basic building blocks of our bodies are cells, okay? And if you put a bunch of cells together, what does that make? An organ. And if you put a bunch of organs together, that makes a system. And if you put a bunch of systems together, that makes our whole body. So if we're going to learn how to heal our bodies and how to create awesome, healthy tissues and organs and systems, we need to figure out how to build a healthy cell, because that's the basic building block of what we're doing. Now, you need to know that cells are not stagnant. They don't just stay there for the rest of your life. You're not born with your cells. Your cells regenerate themselves over and over and over again, depending on which cell it is, daily, monthly, weekly, or yearly. So, for instance, your liver cells regenerate themselves every couple weeks. Your skin cells regenerate themselves every 2 or 3 or 4 days. Your bones regenerate themselves every 4 to 8 years. Everybody knows your hair and your nails regenerate themselves, right? You can see them growing, so that's happening all the time. And your stomach lining and your digestive, everything from your mouth through your stomach, through all your digestive organs, that sloughs off and regenerates itself every few days. So the body you have today is a direct result of what you've been putting into your body for the last 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. And what you put into your body now is going to build the body of your future. So this is directly correlated, and this is really, really important. Now, a majority of, like we were talking about before, a majority of our health problems are from metabolic toxic overload. Do you guys know what that is? Your body, through its metabolic process, you take things into your body uses up the nutrients, and then it expels the wastes and uses the nutrients to build new stuff in your body, okay? Now, if you're eating toxic things or taking toxic things into your body, what happens is your body is built to take good things in, extract all the best stuff, take out the waste. But if you're putting in more, and your body can only take out the waste so fast. Like your body can take out the garbage only so fast, and that's it. So if you're putting more garbage into your body than your body has the ability to put out, then you start to build up those toxins inside of your cells and your organs, and that is what we get as physical symptoms of disease. So that's all the plaque inside our arteries. That's the plaque in our teeth and cavities. That's heart disease. That's our pancreas shutting down and giving us diabetes. That's the plaque in our brain that causes Alzheimer's. Okay, that's the degeneration of our joints that gives us arthritis. That is the lack of neurotransmitters that contributes to depression. So what we need to do is figure out how to build a healthy cell. How to find out, how did you get where you are today? What have you been doing for the last 10 years to build the body you have now? And what do you want to do starting now to build the body that you want in the future? Now, I really like this visual image. When I was in Mexico, I was driving down the road and I saw like kind of trailer parks, but they're full of those shacks, right? You've probably seen pictures of those. They're just like little slats of wood and cardboard and boxes and little tin pieces for the roof, and it's all held together with twine and little nails, and it doesn't look very stable. It's just basically junk put together in the form of a shack. Well, that's what they live in. Well, when we feed our bodies garbage, guess what we're building? Are we building like a bomb shelter? Are we building a beautiful, magnificent structure, a castle? Are we building a strong house that can hold up to anything? No, we're building a shack. And what happens with a shack is it might work for a little while, but if the wind blows, if there's a little earthquake, if somebody drives by and knocks it or bumps it, what happens? It falls down. And I think that's a great analogy for what we're doing to our bodies when we're not providing all the substances we need to build healthy cells. All right, now, when I worked in the medical clinic, I had at least one person come in every single day wanting to know about a cleanse. And they'd say, okay, I need to do a cleanse. What cleanse can I go on? And the conversation would progress, and what they were saying to me is, hey, I've been abusing my body for a whole lot of years, and I'm kind of feeling like crap, so can you do something for like, a week or 2 or 3 weeks or a month, and like undo all that damage I've done for the last few years and make me feel awesome? Like, that's what they were asking. So they wanted to do this lemon juice and cayenne pepper and maple syrup cleanse, or they wanted to do a water fast, or they wanted to do a juice cleanse. And they were disappointed, but what I always told them is, hey, cleansing is something you have to do on a daily basis for the rest of your life. It has to be a sustainable activity that you do every single day, because every day toxins are coming in, you've got to put toxins out. So cleansing is not an event. Cleansing is not a diet that you go on so you can fit into your wedding dress, or you look good in your swimsuit, or you can lose 10 pounds so your doctor's happy with you. Cleansing is something that needs to happen every single day between now and for the rest of your life. And the reason is because if you don't cleanse, you're going to build up that metabolic waste and you're going to start getting symptoms. It might not be today or next week or next year, but eventually you are going to develop symptoms of all these chronic illnesses we're talking about. And all of those chronic illnesses are a result of the exact same thing. It's just different toxins building up in different places in different areas of your body. In 1988, the Surgeon General, he said that a certain percentage of all diseases were diet-related. This is 1988, so this was a long time ago. What percentage do you think it was in 1988? Sorry? 50%? Higher. He said 67%. So almost 70% of all illnesses were diet-related. And that was a long time ago. Our situation is a lot worse now. And I would, as a medical practitioner, I would beg to argue that it's closer to 90 to 95% now. Which means if food is the cause, we need food to be the cure. What's the number one symptom that patients come into doctors and hospitals for? Yes? Close. Close. No. Indigestion. So any indigestion-related illness like GERD or acid reflux or indigestion, what's the number one largest selling medication in America? I heard it back there, Tom. So any kind of antacids, okay? Now let's talk about how we got ourselves to that place and why that's happening and what we can do about it. Here's a little bit of an anatomy/nutrition lesson, okay? So how do we get nutrition from the food we eat into our cells to build new cells? What's the line that connects healthy cells with food? We're going to start with food. Step number one is you have to start with a food that's full of the building blocks that you need to build your cell, okay? So if you're building a house and all you have is a bunch of cardboard and scrap metal and some twine, you don't have any chance of building a really awesome house, right? So we need to pick the food that is full of all those nutrients. And the way we get that food is organic, local fruits and vegetables, produce, whole grains, beans and legumes, nuts and seeds, and a small amount of healthy animal products. Okay, those are the places where we get all the building blocks that we need to make healthy cells. And I have a lot of questions about, okay, should I do organic or local or in season or not in season? And the answer is you need to make the best choice you can with the options you have, but most important is local and organic. because if it's not local, it's being shipped from a long ways away, and it has to be picked green, which means all the nutrients have not developed in that food. If it's not organic, it's covered with pesticides. The soil is mineral depleted, and so local, organic is very important, and then just the highest quality, freshest fruits and vegetables you can possibly get. Now, as we're focusing on fruits and vegetables, step number 2 of building a healthy cell is making sure your food is full of enzymes. Now, enzymes are the parts, the little chemicals in food that assist your body in digesting that food. So your enzymes come from 2 places, and we'll talk about the second place in a minute. Your body produces enzymes, and you get enzymes from the food you eat. So if you're picking food with lots of enzymes in it, so let's say you have lots of fresh fruits and vegetables full of enzymes, and then you cook them, what happens to the enzymes? Gone. What happens to the antioxidants? Gone. What happens to a lot of the vitamins and the nutrients? Gone. Okay? So keeping track of how you're preparing your food and being very careful and very aware and very conscious of how you're preparing your food is the second step in building healthy cells, because your food could come totally packed with awesome goodness, and then you cook it and it's gone. So I advocate a high raw diet, which means most of your foods are raw, unprocessed, uncooked, and just basically knowing which foods are best to eat raw and which foods are best to eat cooked, and I teach that in other classes. All right, the next thing is what happens. You picked your food, it's high in nutrients, it's high in enzymes, you've prepared it properly. Next is chewing. You stick the food in your mouth and chew. What does that do? That breaks down the cell walls of the food, because the food, the building blocks of the food, is also cells. And when you break down the cells, it lets out everything in the middle of the cell, and then those nutrients are available for you to digest and assimilate. If you don't chew your food and all those cell walls are still intact, those little buggers are tough, okay? You cannot get the nutrients out of that cell if you're not chewing your food and breaking down those cell walls. The next step after you've chewed and you've broken down all the cell walls is your salivary enzymes, and your saliva has chemicals in it that start a chemical reaction with the food that starts to digest it while it's still in your mouth. Most people know that your stomach acids digest food, but you have acids and enzymes in your mouth that start the digestion process there. And the digestive enzymes in your mouth are not the same as the digestive enzymes in your stomach. So if you don't chew your food enough to mix it with saliva, you've skipped a big step in the digestive process. And what happens with your salivary enzymes is all of your foods are in large molecules. And your body can't absorb large molecules. It can only absorb small molecules. So those salivary enzymes break down and cleave those big molecules into smaller molecules that your body can use. So it starts there. Next, where does your food go? Goes into your stomach, where you have hydrochloric acid and other digestive enzymes that break down different parts of the food and cleave different molecules to make those more accessible. Then, where does your food go next? It goes from your stomach into your small intestines. Now, in your small intestines, 2 things happen. Your pancreas and your gallbladder squirt some more enzymes, which are your endogenous enzymes. Those are the enzymes that your body makes. They don't come from the food. They squirt that into your small intestines, and that breaks down your food even further. So you've got 3 different places where enzymes are doing part of the digestive process. After that happens, your food starts to move through your small intestine, about 20 feet of small intestine, and your small intestines, they look like a tube, but inside the tube, it's got little like finger-like projections called villi, and those increase the surface area of your intestines. So as the food flows over all of those surface areas, the blood flow to those, so your blood, your capillaries come up through those little villi, and the food comes over like this, and the nutrients in the food are able to absorb straight into your blood through those little villi, and then your blood transfers those nutrients throughout your entire body to every single cell in your body. And assuming that you've transported all those good things into your body, into your blood, then that's how the nutrients get to your hair and your liver and your kidneys and your pancreas and your gallbladder and your eyes and your skin and create healthy cells. That's how the building blocks get from the food to your cells. Now the next thing that happens after all that absorption has taken place, the food goes down into your large intestine, and there the water is absorbed out of the remainder of your food. So basically what's left over is your undigestible fiber, any dead bacteria that you've got in your intestines, any sloughed off cells that, you know, your digestive tract regenerates itself every few days, so all those cells that are regenerating, and that comes out the other end is poop. And so what happens is all the water absorbs, and that helps keep you hydrated because you're reabsorbing all that water, and then you get rid of the waste at the other end. So that's from beginning to end. And if you mess with any step in that digestive process, you're basically putting up a dam so the river cannot flow from the food to your cells. And if your elimination, so if your large intestine's not working properly, and instead of all that toxic waste going out, it just stays there, then what happens is all those toxins reabsorb back into your body, and you're getting metabolic waste issues again. Does that make sense? Okay, another thing we have to consider in the digestive process is your immune system, your friendly bacteria or your flora that are all around your intestines. Your immune system is 85% created by all the friendly bacteria that are inside your gut. And what happens is your intestines are coated on the outside and the inside with these friendly bacteria, and what they do is they help to keep all the invaders from getting into your body and making you sick. And so I did a class a couple weeks ago about probiotic foods and fermented foods and cultured foods. And in that class, I taught you the importance of building your immune system. Anybody that has autoimmune disorder, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, allergies, asthma, psoriasis, anybody with those types or digestive disorders of any kind, you need to be on a probiotic food regimen with every single meal of your day to build that back up again, which will increase your immune system, enhance your digestion, and make it so that whole process is working better. Any questions? Woo! I'm just dumping all sorts of information on you. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to take questions every once in a while, so if you don't have questions, I'm going to keep on going. All right, so what do we need to do to make sure that our body is not becoming metabolically toxic? So all those metabolic toxins, where do metabolic toxins come from? Primary place. Yes. Good, artificial sweeteners. So food in general, and the foods that cause metabolic toxicity, artificial sweeteners, sugar, corn syrup, white flour, white rice, pasta, any kind of refined grains, hydrogenated oil, partially hydrogenated oil, any kind of vegetable oils, flavorings, colorings, pesticides, herbicides. That's pretty much covers everything in our modern day food supply, right? And that's just our food supply. What about our water? What are we getting? And just turn on the faucet and take a drink. What are you getting? You're getting pharmaceutical residue. What else? Fluoride, which is highly toxic. Chlorine, which kills all your friendly bacteria, ruins your digestion, and messes up the cells in your stomach and your digestive tract. You're getting all sorts of pesticide runoff from the fields and from lawns and stuff like that. All of this stuff from our water is causing big-time toxic metabolic overload. Where else is our toxins coming from? The air we breathe every day. Can't get away from it. Where else do we have toxins coming from? Thank you. Body products are a big one. Your skin absorbs whatever you put on your skin, goes directly into your blood and becomes part of your body. And so there's two problems with that. One is we're just like putting tons and tons of toxics into our body with our lotions and our shampoos and our conditioners and our makeup and all the body products we have, and our household products, laundry detergent, dryer sheets, household cleaning stuff. All of these things are putting tons and tons of poisons into our body. That's problem number one. Problem number two is, how does your body, your skin is your largest organ of your body. How does your body cleanse your skin, which is your biggest organ of your body? Sweating. You get your toxins out of your skin through sweating, and when you put petroleum products, which is pretty much any commercial body product on the market, when you put petroleum products on your body, it clogs your pores and it makes you so you cannot eliminate toxins. So all those toxins go in, no toxins come out. What are you doing? You're creating a very metabolically toxic environment inside your body. And I'd like to do just a short commercial right now. Write this down, July 27th, we're having a Cafe Janae potluck, and I'm so excited about this. It's going to be awesome. This is where you can all come and try healthy, raw, or high raw, plant-based, whole food menu items. You can try different dishes, see how other people do it, socialize with people that are wanting to do the same thing as you, which is make a healthy body with healthy food choices. So it's really a great social environment, and it's great to taste all the foods and see what you can do with whole foods. And if that's at 6 o'clock, and if you come at 5 o'clock, I'm teaching a class on how to make non-toxic body products that are not only are they made with natural things that aren't toxic for you, but they're made with things that are going to nourish your skin and put in tons of nutrients through your skin. So not only are you eating healthy things, but you're putting healthy things in through your skin, in through your blood that can help to build and cleanse and make healthy cells. So if you're interested in that, you can talk to Brian in the back on your way out. You can look it up on my website, or you can come talk to me. I would love to have you at the potluck and at the body products class. And also I'll be teaching how to make household cleaners as well. So how do you make non-toxic bathtub and sink and window cleaner and toilet cleaner and carpet cleaner and all that kind of stuff, and air freshener. So I'll be teaching all that kind of stuff at that class. It's going to be awesome, so I hope you can make it. It'll just be another step in step 2 of this detoxification class that I'm teaching. It's in Sandy at Janae Thompson's house. You can give a little wave. We'll give out the address. If you're interested, let us know. And the address is also on my website if you want to go look that up. Yeah, 5 o'clock is the body products class, and 6 o'clock is the potluck. Okay, so I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yes, stop the toxic load. So step number 1 of making sure that we are creating a healthy and cleansing environment for ourselves. Remember how I said cleansing is not an event, it's something you have to do every day? Here's the 5 steps of what you have to do every single day so that your body is continually cleansing every minute of every hour of every day, okay? And it's not an event, it's something that's happening all the time. Because again, we just talked about we've got garbage coming in all the time, we've got to get the garbage going out all the time, and we need to give our body a boost to do that. So number 1, stop the toxic load. If we have, let's say you have a garbage can, right? The garbage can only hold so much, and you can only take it out so often. If you're putting garbage in the garbage can faster than you can take it out, it's going to overflow. So the way to balance that is to stop putting so much garbage into the garbage can, okay? So what we're going to do is stop putting in all the stuff into our bodies that's creating that metabolic waste and the metabolic toxic overload, which we talked about, the food, the water, we can drink pure water, the body products, the chemicals. So there's a lot of things we do have control over. We don't have control over everything, like the air and stuff, but there's a lot of things we do have control over, and that's number 1 we have to do. The second step in making sure that we have a cleansing environment in our body every single day is to hydrate. Now this, a lot of people are shaking their heads. Tell me the 3 top beverages consumed today. Soda, good. Beverage number 2, coffee. Beverage number 3, alcohol. Okay? That's the majority of the beverage consumption in America today. Are any of those hydrating fluids? Just because it's a fluid doesn't mean it's hydrating. Actually, all of those are very dehydrating fluids, and it takes a ton of water out of your body. I forget the number, but it takes gallons of water to neutralize the damage done by a soda or a coffee or an alcoholic beverage. Gallons to neutralize that. Yes? Thank you. 32 times the amount of water to cleanse out the toxic problem that 1 glass of Coke causes. That's pretty intense. And when you take into consideration that most people only drink soda, they don't drink water at all, that's a big problem. So, how do we hydrate? How do we hydrate in a way that will create a cleansing environment for every single cell? Because water, it washes our cells, it washes our organs, it hydrates us and keeps us from dehydrating. So, number 1 is water. And a lot of people that are not used to drinking water say, okay, how am I supposed to do this? I need soda, I need something fizzy, I need something sweet. We've trained our taste buds to expect a certain thing. And so I'd just like to share with you one thing that I use at my house that's not only cleansing because it hydrates you, but it cleanses different organs of your body as well as you're hydrating yourself. So here's what I do every single morning when I wake up. This is before I eat. Right when I wake up, I just do this right away, and then I give myself like a half hour, 45 minutes for the water to digest, and then I go ahead and eat my breakfast. I will show you what I do. And it's pretty easy. And I found when I was working in the doctor's office, I had so many people tell me, I can't drink water, I hate the taste of it, I can't get it down. And then I showed them this little trick, and then it's not so bad anymore, they like it. And that's the point of Cafe Genet, really, right? To make everything delicious. So what we're going to start out with is a lemon. I use organic lemons just because the most nutrition, the most antioxidants, and the healing properties of a lemon are right here between the yellow part and the white part. So right there in the white part of the lemon, that's where the properties are that protect against cancer, that protect against skin damage, that regenerate your skin, that detoxify your liver. All of those things are right there. So if you throw that away, you're tossing away 95% of the nutrition in this amazing healing food. So what I do is if I only need to use the juice of a lemon for some reason, I use the juice of a lemon, save the lemon peel, and then I throw the lemon peel into my smoothie or something later, and then I'm still getting the great nutrient content. If you're just going to have a jug of water sitting around all day, so like I usually make a couple quarts of water for myself so I know how much water I'm drinking throughout the day. You can just leave the lemon peels in there and it kind of flavors the water and makes it taste yummy. Alright, so every morning I take a quart of water, I squeeze a lemon into it, and where's my paper towels? What does the lemon do? It does several things. First of all, it has a very high mineral content, so you're remineralizing your body. Second of all, it's a liver cleanser. It helps to cleanse out all those toxins in your liver. Third of all, it alkalizes your body. I'm sure you guys have all heard about the acid versus alkaline issue. It starts to alkalize your body so that you don't have to work so hard and pull minerals out of your bones to create an alkaline environment. And also, it... I forgot the last thing it does. Hold on. Oh yeah, it starts the digestive process in your stomach. So lemon gets the cells in your stomach that make hydrochloric acid. It kind of revs those babies up. So then when you're ready to eat, your hydrochloric acid is ready to go and ready to digest your food. So that's cool, right? Putting lemon in water does all those things. Isn't that pretty amazing? One simple thing can do all of those things and make a huge difference. People ask me how much water they should drink. A good rule of thumb is take however much you weigh, divide it in half, and drink that many ounces of water per day. So if you weigh 100 pounds, drink 50 ounces of water per day. That is a starting point, okay? If you're overweight, if you're sick, if you're trying to detoxify faster, if it's hot outside, if you're sweating a lot, you're going to need to up it, but that's the minimum requirement for keeping your body hydrated. First thing in the morning, a whole quart of just lemon water. Now, for the people that can't stand, it's too tart for them, or they just don't like water, here's a way to make it fancy. And I do this all the time too, like if I'm bored of the lemon water. I put in a little bit of liquid stevia. Just going to put in a few drops of that. And then you can also put in some essential oils, the citrus essential oils. I just went to a conference a couple nights ago, and there was a orthopedic surgeon there that was talking about how essential oils actually cleanse your liver out. And I'd always heard that essential oils could cleanse your body, and I never really knew how it worked. Well, there's this enzymatic process in your liver for detoxification. And what the citrus essential oils do is they act as a catalyst for that enzyme, which means a catalyst is something that kind of helps something else. It gives it the power to go. And so the essential oils act as a catalyst for this enzyme that detoxifies your liver. And it gives it the ability to detoxify way more than it would normally be able to detoxify. So it just increases its capacity for detoxification. So, you know, let's say you could detoxify this much normally out of your liver, then it bumps it up to there. So the other thing it does is it just, it makes it taste yummy. And I'm not into boring foods, so anything I can do to make it taste yummy is well worth my while to do it. So a couple drops of essential oil. Now you can just do the lemon plain. You don't have to make it fancy like this. Just plain lemon water will be awesome. If you want to add all this extra stuff, you totally can to make it more interesting, but it's up to you. I just added a little bit of lemon and orange. And grapefruit also works well. I'm using the reverse osmosis water from the tap out here. You can also, in the morning, if you want, add a little bit of ionic minerals to the water. And the minerals just help to alkalize your body a little bit better and get you all set up to have a better day metabolically. So I'm going to pass this around and you guys can have a little taste of it. Just keep in mind that this is like 2 or 2.5 quarts of water. So if you make this at home, a quart for 1 lemon, which is the ratio I recommend, it's going to be a little bit tartar than this. But we ran out of lemons. There you go. Thanks. Okay, so that is the hydration step. Generally, I recommend, for somebody my size, I drink between 2 and 3 quarts of water per day. And if you can add minerals or lemon or a little bit of apple cider. Oh, I need that. Thanks. Yeah. Apple cider vinegar to the water, that also helps to mineralize your water, alkalize your water, and help you to digest things better. Yes? A quart. Yeah. And that might be a little much for people that have never done this before. So here, I'll get out of your way. Oh, actually, we're all set up for the next one. Yep, we're good. Thanks. A quart might be a lot for some people's stomachs. I had to start out with like 2 cups and kind of work my way up until my body was used to it. So whatever you're used to drinking, start with that, and then every day just increase it a little bit to your comfort. Your body will tell you if you've drank too much water. So just increase it as much as you can and kind of have that as your goal. It's like 3 cups to a quart of water in the morning before you start your day. And then wait a half hour to 45 minutes so all the water can digest and your digestive system is primed, and then you're ready to eat. I saw another hand back here. Yes?
Do you recommend the whole lemon and the lemon essential oil, or would it be okay to do just the lemon essential oil?
If you want to detoxify your liver the best you can, if you want to alkalize your body the best you can, I would recommend primarily doing the lemon juice first of all, and then if you want to add the lemon oil to it. And it depends, like, you know, if you're on the go and you don't have a lemon with you, use the lemon oil. But great. Yeah, and that's perfect. But if you can do the lemon juice, that has benefits as well. So I think they both have different beneficial properties. And I personally wouldn't pick one or the other. I would kind of try to do both or rotate them or something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes? I probably spend 10 or so minutes drinking it. And the temperature, I do it at room temperature. If the water is very, very cold, before you can digest it, your body has to warm it up to body temperature. So it's just kind of sitting there getting warm instead of hydrating you in the morning. So you know, room temperature to body temperature is the best. Like if it's cold outside, if it's in the middle of winter, you know, something warmer is better. If it's the middle of summer and you're trying to cool off, cooler is better. But ice water doesn't digest well. Yes? Sure, if you like. And if you prepare it the night before and you throw the lemon peel in there, all that oil from the lemon peel will make your water taste better. So you can definitely do that. Yes? Mm-hmm. Awesome question. The question was, what's your take on alkaline water made alkaline by foods, or alkaline water made by an alkalizer, or alkaline water made by baking soda? That's an awesome question. And the answer to all questions that are similar to that is because food builds your cells, food is going to heal your cells. So if you can do it with food, that is the first option I would always use, okay? Baking soda, for instance, is a very temporary fix. Will it alkalize you? Absolutely. If you drink baking soda and water, you're going to be alkaline within a matter of minutes. But that's a very temporary solution. That baking soda alkaline water is not helping your cells out at all, besides giving it temporary alkaline properties. And then you're just going to go back to whatever you were as soon as all that baking soda is flushed out. So what you want to do is something that's sustainable and building and cleansing, which is that's what your food is for. So if you can do it with food, I would always use that as my very first option. The caveat to that is if you're doing it for therapeutic purposes, so let's say you need to be alkalized right away. Let's say you have a condition and you go to the hospital and you need to be alkalized right away, or you're going to be sick or you're going to die. Of course they're going to give you the baking soda solution to stabilize you. So that's a very good short-term solution, but the long-term solution is always food. And it's the same with the water alkalizing systems. A very good short-term therapeutic option. However, for long-term, it's not going to build you and be beneficial for you in the long term. Okay, food is always the long-term solution. Yes? Yes. Distilled water is the question. Distilled water is similar to alkaline water in that it's a very good temporary solution to achieve a certain health therapeutic goal. Like, for instance, if you have certain toxins in your body, if you're trying to get rid and flush out of certain things out of your body, distilled water is great for, like, for instance, when I first moved to Utah, I'd been here for a year and I was drinking tap water. And within a year, I developed the worst kidney stones ever from drinking the tap water here. All those calcium deposits were building up in my kidneys. So I went on distilled water for a month. I drank it for a month or maybe 2 months, totally dissolved my kidney stones. It worked great for doing that. And then I went back to a different kind of water. So therapeutically, distilled water works great for lots of things. But as a long-term solution, it's not the best. It's not the best option long-term. Yes? So if you're checking your pH, what range should it be? And our bodies, it depends on which part of your body. Your saliva is going to be different than your urine. It's going to be different than your sweat. But basically, your urine should be around neutral, which is a pH of 7. So it's going to swing up and down during the day and depending on what you eat and drink, but around 7. Any other questions? What do you guys think of the water? Tasty? Isn't that fun? Like, you can drink water and it can be fun and delicious, and you're not thinking, oh gosh, got to drink more water. It's like, ooh, that has a little zing to it. It's kind of nice. So, any other questions?
If you mix lemon with the baking soda, does that help the baking soda?
I would only use baking soda for a specific therapeutic purpose, short term. That is the only reason I'd use it. And then I would go back to foods to heal your problems. It depends. Like, for me, I drank the distilled water till my kidney stones were gone. And so it depends on why you're drinking the distilled water and what you're trying to achieve. So basically, use it until whatever problem you have is fixed, and then you can switch. Yes?
You said the healthy part was between the pulp and the outer.
Uh-huh.
If you let the whole thing sit in there, does that seep out?
It does a little bit. She asked, does it seep out if you let it sit in the water? And it does a little bit, but I found the best way to utilize the lemon peels is throw them into smoothies, and then you're drinking the whole thing. Totally. Yes, absolutely. Yes? It can. I can't make any medical claims for sure, but it's been done before, and it's a possibility. She said, can distilled water with wheatgrass juice be able to dissolve things like fibroids and stuff? Okay, shall we move on? All right. Next, after hydration, is we need to return all the minerals or put minerals back into our body. We need to remineralize our bodies. Now, minerals are used in our bodies for lots of different things, but the major source of minerals we have in our body is our bones. Yes, good job. I heard the right answer out there. So our bones are the major mineral storehouse of our body. Now, we were talking a little bit about acid and alkaline before. What happens if your body starts getting acidic? Your body doesn't like that. You have to stay within a really narrow pH in order for your body to be in homeostasis. If you swing out of that, the pH that you're supposed to be in by even just a tiny bit, your body freaks out and I'm going to die. And so what does it do? It needs to get minerals from somewhere to alkalize your blood. And where does it pull the minerals from? Your bones. So when we're eating a highly processed diet that's devoid of minerals, it doesn't have enzymes, it doesn't have probiotics, and we're highly stressed and we're not getting enough sleep, guess what's happening? We are in a very acidic environment, and our environment is pulling minerals from anywhere it can, which is our bones, which is why the rate of osteoporosis, osteopenia, and all sorts of bone disorders is just skyrocketing in the last few decades. So what we need to do is remineralize, and just like, remember how I said we've got to stop the toxic overload, so stop putting the garbage in so you can, so you can take it out fast enough. With the same idea of that is you have to stop doing the things that are taking the minerals out of your body. And those things are, what things cause our bones to start dissolving, to create homeostasis? There's several specific things. Soda, coffee, alcohol, processed foods like white flour and hydrogenated oil, stress. Anything else? Yep, lack of exercise, absolutely. Your bones are as strong as the stress you put on them. So lack of exercise. So if you are just doing the standard American diet, sitting around on your rear all day, stressed out, drinking soda, drinking alcohol, drinking coffee, guess what? Your bones are dissolving, and they're dissolving very quickly. So we need to, smoking also is big time bone dissolver. So, and birth control pills. Okay, so what we need to do is stop doing all those things that are demineralizing our bones, so we can kind of get it a zero, a flat level playing ground, and then we need to start putting all the minerals back in. And where do minerals come from? Primarily, I heard it, plants. What kind of plants? Green plants especially. So minerals are in all fruits and vegetables, but especially in roots and especially in green vegetables. So as we remineralize, we're going to be building our bones back up. We're going to stop doing the stuff that's sucking all the minerals out. And the next thing we need to do to create a cleansing environment in every cell of our body all day long is to make sure that our enzymes are adequate. Now, enzymes come from two places, the food and endogenous enzymes that come from our pancreas and our liver and our gallbladder. Now, we're born with a certain amount of endogenous enzymes, and that's all we get for our whole life. So if you're not getting lots of enzymes from your food, your body's got to get them from somewhere, and so it's going to be pulling from its stores, and you are going to run out before you die, which is going to cause you to die. So what you need to do is balance it out a little bit and be getting your enzymes from somewhere else so that your body's not using up its precious stores of enzymes faster than necessary. And you get those enzymes from fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and by fresh I mean not cooked, raw nuts and seeds, and one of the best, actually the best place to get enzymes is probiotic foods. And I remember I told you I taught that class. You guys can all get online, cafejanae.com, and I've got a 90-minute video teaching you all about probiotics, all about probiotic foods and how to do it. So you can just check out my front page and see that. But the best place to get enzymes is probiotic foods, eating them with every single meal. The second best place to get them is fresh fruits and vegetables. And number 5 is to create a healthy bacterial system or a healthy flora system in our body. Did you know that probiotics and probiotic foods, they drag out multiple times their weight in toxins every time you eat them? So a lot of people think that you take probiotics and then you're fine. Okay, I treat lots of candida patients when I work in the clinic, and they just think, oh, can I just take some probiotics and then I'll be fixed? Well, what they don't know is probiotics go in and then they go out. And what they do is they take lots of toxins along with them, but probiotics don't stay in your body forever. They're very temporary, very short term. So you need to be having probiotics or friendly bacteria into your diet every single day, not only to keep your immune system strong, not only to enhance your digestion, but also to start dragging all those toxins out of your body so you can have a cleansing environment. Good question. When I'm talking about probiotics, am I talking about yogurt and kefir? Most people, I say probiotics and they think yogurt. Well, the problem with yogurt, the standard American yogurt, is that it's made from dairy, from cows that are raised on a feedlot in very toxic environments that are pumped full of hormones, they're pumped full of antibiotics, they're pumped full of all sorts of garbage, they're fed garbage, they're actually fed chicken poo from the chicken farms, they're fed all sorts of nasty stuff, so you're getting milk from these cows that are totally toxic, totally sick, are being fed nasty stuff, so that's where the milk for the yogurt is coming from. And then when they make the yogurt, they put 1, maybe 2 strains of bacteria into that yogurt. And then they do what? They sweeten it. And what kills probiotics? Sugar. Right. So yogurt is not really a great place. Actually, it's a very poor place to get probiotics, even though that's what most people think of when I say probiotics. So where we want to get our probiotics is from one of the best ways is cultured vegetables. So like sauerkraut, not the sauerkraut you get off the shelf that has vinegar and it's been cooked and pasteurized, but live cultured sauerkraut. There's lots of other cultured fruits and vegetables you can make. Kombucha tea, kefir. You can do kefir and yogurt made from non-pasteurized raw milk that you make yourself, and you put lots of good bacteria in there, and you can choose lots and lots of strains of bacteria to put in there. So that's a good option for some people. Water kefir for those that can't have dairy. So you can even culture, traditionally, all foods have been cultured. Meats, breads, vegetables, fruits, everything has, before the industrial food processing started, that's how foods were preserved, and that's how people kept themselves healthy and vibrant, is by using those probiotics, which are full of enzymes, full of probiotics. So please, if you have questions, get on my website, watch that 90-minute video of the class I did a couple weeks ago. It'll answer all your probiotic questions, and you will leave there totally thinking differently about bacteria and how to get probiotics in your diet. Yes? Yes, oh, did I skip 4? Yeah, 4 was enzymes. 5 was bacteria. Your probiotics. Okay, so people want to know, like, I've just been spewing tons of information at you, right? So now what? What's the take home? What can we do every single day to get hydration, minerals, enzymes, and friendly bacteria into our body every single day on a regular basis that doesn't take our whole day, that we can just do really quickly in a few minutes? Is anybody thinking that besides me? Move to Montana. Yeah, exactly. Go to fat camp, right? Awesome. Smoothies and juices are the 2 best ways to do it, because in smoothies and juices you can get a large amount of green leafy vegetables, other vegetables, fruits, which are high in enzymes. Then you can add probiotics to it, and they're full of really healthy water, and they're full of minerals. So we've got everything we need in a smoothie or a juice. And I just got done teaching a class in Ogden, and we made a really great smoothie. It was a pineapple basil mint smoothie, and this is the one that I've been addicted to for like the last 2 months. It's amazing. I have the recipe for that in the recipe book that I'm selling today if you want to try it, but we're going to try something different right now, and I'm going to show you the amazing healing power of food and how you can put that amazing power of food into a glass in less than 10 minutes, okay? So a great way is smoothies, and I've got tons of smoothie recipes for you guys to try out, but another great way is with juice, and let me introduce you to the star of our juice show today, all right? Besides me, I'm the star, but here we go. Here's the other stars of our juice show, okay? People ask me all the time, what should I make my juice with? And there's a lot of questions about, what about carrot juice? What about beet juice? What about fruit juice? And you've got your juicers, right? But then what do you do with them? And how do you know what's the best thing for your body? What should you put into the juicer to create the best environment for healthy cells? And I'm just going to give you a basic recipe that you can start out with, and then you can add or subtract as you please and create whatever works for you and your certain health conditions and your life and your tastes. So the base of all green juices, now greens are high in minerals and enzymes and all that kind of stuff, so we're going to do a green juice today. And what you want to do is a low glycemic index juice. If you're drinking juice all day that's very high in sugars, even if it's fruit sugars, your insulin is going to be doing this all day long, and that is not good for your metabolism or your pancreas or your blood sugar or your brain or anything like that. What you want to do is be drinking a low glycemic juice that is full of minerals and enzymes and all that good stuff without the sugar that's going up and down like that. So the base of our juice is going to be two things, cucumbers and celery. Celery is amazing mineral content. It's got a lot of sodium in it, not sodium chloride, which is table salt, which everybody kind of connects with heart disease and blood pressure, but just sodium. And sodium is an electrolyte that balances all the electrolytes in your body, and you need sodium for every single cell in your body to work. You can't work it without sodium. Not sodium chloride, but sodium. And so that's what celery provides, and it also provides a highly mineralized water source and enzyme source to be a base of your juice with no glycemic load to it. Cucumbers are very healing, they're very soothing, and they also have a very high water mineral content and enzyme content. And so those two things we're going to use as the base of our juice. And then what we're going to do next is parsley. Who knows what organ system parsley is an amazing cleanser for? Yes, exactly, your urinary system. So parsley cleanses your bladder, your kidneys, your ureters, all of your urinary system. It's an amazing cleanser for that. So if you have any type of urinary disorder, kidney stones or bladder infections or weak kidneys or weak adrenals, anything like that, parsley is the way to go. Plus, anytime you're adding an herb, which parsley is, anytime you're adding an herb to your juice, herbs have medicinal properties. So food is amazing and healing, but once you go to herbs, that's like superfood, right? That's like food with bonuses. So this has lots of medicinal, amazing properties to it. And we're going to add that to our juice. Ah, yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Parsley is also a great body deodorizer. So it cleanses your lymph as well, and it makes you so your body smells nice. If you eat garlic and you have some parsley, it's going to clean out your breath, and it's an amazing deodorizer. So awesome. Very high in vitamin C, as are all the deep leafy greens. Okay. Cilantro. Who knows what cilantro is a good cleanser for? Blood, absolutely. And cilantro is amazing for pulling heavy metals out of your body. So if you have any kind of heavy metal toxicity, mercury toxicity, anything like that, cilantro is what's going to grab onto that. And it's kind of like a chelating property that gets all those heavy metals out of your body and not only cleanses your blood, but it builds your blood as well. You don't just want to keep cleansing and pulling stuff out. You want to cleanse and build at the same time, and that's what your cilantro does. Next. Beets, yay. Who knows what the beets are cleansers for? Blood and three things. Liver and builds the heart. So doctrine of signatures, have you guys heard of that? Basically whatever your food looks like, that's kind of what it works on. So beets look like a little heart, right? And so what it does, and they're bright red, so it really helps cleanse your heart, build your heart, cleanses your blood, and it also detoxifies your liver. Lemons, we already talked about this, alkalizes and cleanses your liver. Ginger, who knows what that does? Digestive aid. Ginger is really great for any digestive problems, nausea, vomiting, morning sickness, any digestive problem. And this also helps all these your endogenous enzymes and your hydrochloric acid to work a lot better. Plus, I really love lemon and ginger because if you're putting a lot of greens in there that kind of have a bitter taste, lemon and ginger really cut that bitter taste and make it a lot more palatable. So as on a basis of taste, it's really awesome as well. And these are optional. I like to put a couple apples in my juice just because I like the flavor of them. But if you want to keep it super low glycemic and you don't want any sugars in your juice, get rid of the apples and instead add a little bit of stevia extract. And it'll still give you the same sweet sensation and the same sweet flavor without the sugar. Now, apples aren't all bad. I say this because there's diabetics and people with hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia. Apples are awesome. They have pectin in them, which is an insoluble fiber, which is also a prebiotic. Prebiotics are what feed your probiotics. So all those good bacteria in your gut, they need something to eat, and what they eat is the soluble fiber like pectin in apples. So it gives you that, and everybody's heard apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? We've got lots of good health properties in apples. So if your blood sugar can handle it, great, put that in, but not too much. If your blood sugar can't handle it, use stevia. Yes? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Granny Smith apples work great for keeping the glycemic index down. And then just what I do at home is if I have any extra greens laying around, like lettuce or kale or chard or beet tops or whatever, I just throw those in as well, just because they all have amazing properties as well. So I'm going to just, I'm trying to decide. You guys probably don't want to see me juice this whole thing, do you? Yes? Okay, I'll juice a little bit of it, and then I'll have Brian go in back and finish it up. Nice and quiet, huh? Listen to that hum. Okay, we'll start out with the cucumber. And while I'm juicing this, I will take questions. What do you guys want to know? You'll have to talk loud because I can't hear. Good question. What kind of juicer do I use? This is an Omega 360. I like this one. I have two juicers. This one's good at a lot of things. I'll tell you the pros and cons. The good things about this juicer is if you put stuff in, if you watch, it just kind of like eats it by itself and you don't have to be sitting there ramming the food into it. So I love that. It's got a pretty big feed chute so that you can put bigger pieces of fruits and vegetables in there. And I like that. And it just juices things pretty fast compared to my other blenders, or my other juicers. So that's what I like about it. What I don't like about it, these are the disadvantages. If you put too much food in there too fast, it jams up and you have to keep reversing it and stopping it, and that's kind of annoying. And the other annoying thing about this is a lot of pulp comes through, so your juice is very pulpy and you have to strain it before you drink it. So those are the two annoying things about it and the two good things about it. Okay, can you guys see that? Beautiful green juice, right? That's from the cucumber. Here's from the celery. My other juicer I have is a Green Star, and I love that juicer. The advantages are the pulp comes out pretty good, and so it's a nice, clean, filtered juice. The disadvantage is it's a lot slower than this, and you have to push down the stuff really hard. So you got to like muscle that stuff into the juicer to get it to work. So I like both of the juicers. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. And both of them are equally easy to clean. Yeah?
What about just using one of the blenders that really blends things really fine as opposed to juicing?
Totally. So the question was, what about the blenders like the Vitamix or the Blendtec that really blend your food down? And that's more of a smoothie idea. And I get that question all the time, like, should I do juices or should I do smoothies? And there are pros and cons to juices and smoothies. So you just have to decide what your health goals are and figure it out. So the pros and cons of the juices are you don't have much fiber. It digests and assimilates way faster than a smoothie because all the fiber's taken out. So like in 20 minutes, all of that juice, all the nutrients have absorbed within about 20 minutes with the juice. And a smoothie takes longer of a digestion process. The cons are, of course, it doesn't have fiber. And the benefit of fiber is a cleanser. Fiber takes up, it's like the other stuff we were talking about where it sucks up multiple times its weight in toxins and it'll drag it out of your body. Fiber is one of the best cleansers ever. And so if you take all the fiber out, you're missing out on cleansing benefits, and you're also missing out on bulking up your stool, which is really important for good bowel habits. The other comparison I like to make is with, let's say you have 8 ounces of a green smoothie and 8 ounces of a juice. Okay, basically the same ingredients. In the green smoothie, you'll probably have 60 or 70% of that's actually nutrient value, because the other 20 or 30% or 40% is fiber. Okay, so you get less nutrients per volume of the green smoothie, but you're also getting the benefits of the fiber. In the juice, it's going to be 100% nutrition, but you're also missing out on the fiber. So what should you do, green smoothies or juices? My answer is do both, because they both have amazing benefits, and if you can do both, kind of switch it up and get the beneficial properties from both. Does that make sense? Okay. And if you notice, I'm putting in, when I did the apple, if you get organic apples, throw the whole apple in there. All the nutrition is right there by the skin. You don't want to peel it, and you don't even have to core it if it's organic. If it's not organic, all the toxins are in the skin and the seeds. So if it's not organic, you want to seed and peel it. And if it's organic, just throw the whole thing in there, and you'll get the best of all the nutrition in there. Nope. No, the only thing I take, like when I'm doing fruits and vegetables, the only thing I peel bananas, and grapefruits and oranges aren't really, they don't work so well. But lemons and apples and cucumbers, if it's organic, I just keep everything and throw it all in there. Yes? Sprouts are awesome. Sprouts are the infancy of life of the food, right? And so they have amazing nutrition content. And I highly recommend it. You can juice sprouts. You can put sprouts in your smoothies. You can eat sprouts plain. They're awesome. They're very high in enzymes, very high in minerals, very high in phytochemicals. They're amazing. Now you notice as long as it's fresh ginger, organic ginger, and as long as you washed all the dirt off of it, you can just stick the whole ginger thing in there and you don't have to peel it even. More questions? Yes? Uh-huh. The bloating part. Okay, so the question was some things, like give me an example of what. Okay, like the cruciferous okay, great. So cruciferous vegetables, which are cauliflower, broccoli, kale, garlic, onions, all of those are very high in sulfur compounds. And if your friendly bacteria in your gut are not really healthy and robust, you don't have what you need to break all that down and digest it. So if you're having trouble with cruciferous vegetables or sulfur-containing foods, number one thing I'd look at is what does your probiotics and your gut flora look like, and I'd really work on healing that up and getting really good digestion. The second thing I'd look at is do you have enough enzymes? And you probably don't. If your internal flora is messed up, you're probably lacking a lot of enzymes as well. And so for a little while you're changing your diet and getting healthy and healing and rebuilding your cells, you might need to get on a digestive enzyme just to give your body kind of a jump start into health. And okay, I think I put everything in there. Did you see the beet? I just kept the beet peel on and everything. So I would try digestive enzyme. I would try rehealing. So look at my probiotic video, start implementing that into your life every single day, and start with that. And sometimes when you have a sensitivity to a food or it's not working, stop eating it for a little while, heal up your cells, heal your stomach, heal your colon, heal your digestive tract, and then try it again, and you're probably going to be fine after your bacteria and your enzymes are working the way they should. And remember the stages of digestion. You've got to chew it really well until it's liquid. You've got to mix your saliva with it. You've got to have good hydrochloric acid in your stomach, good endogenous enzymes, and good absorption. And that takes sometimes, if you've really damaged your digestive tract, that takes a little while to heal that up. So just be gentle with your body and realize you're going to have to rebuild all those cells again and rebuild them with good foods instead of whatever else you've been building them with, and just start there. Okay? I'm going to let them finish juicing all this in the back. Any questions about juicing or the juicer? Good question. Can you put a little stevia? Do you guys want it with stevia or without?
I'll see how sweet it is.
Without? Okay, without, you've got it. Yeah, thanks. Okay, sorry, I missed the question. The pulp. So there's two things you can do with the pulp. Thing number one is feed your garden, mineralize your garden, enzymize your garden, bacterialize your garden by putting it in as compost and letting this pulp feed your soil so that when you grow new crops, your crops are using all of that awesome nutrition to make new food. So that's option number one. Option number two, depending on what you're juicing, you can, if you've got a dehydrator or put your oven on low, you can make crackers with it. So mix up the pulp with like some flax seeds or chia seeds and some garlic and spices and maybe a little bit of onion. Spread it out and either dehydrate it or bake it and make a cracker out of it. So those are the two things I do with the pulp. Yes?
I was wondering, when you drink your juice or smoothies or whatever, how do you make sure you get that saliva
Ah, good. So this is what I was taught. You need to drink your food and chew your beverages, okay? And what that means is you need to chew all your food until it's a liquid, till it's drinkable liquid. That's how much you need to chew your food. And you need to chew your beverages, which means even your water. You need to swish it around in your mouth and mix it with saliva. And even water is not able to digest properly if you're not mixing it with your saliva. So when I'm where's my smoothie mug? I've got a giant smoothie mug somewhere that I carry around all day. When I'm drinking my smoothie, I take a sip, swish it around in my mouth, kind of chew it a little bit, and then I swallow it to make sure it's mixing with the saliva. And when you asked about my water, like do I drink it, do I chug it or whatever, I drink it slow enough so that I can mix it with saliva and that it's going to digest properly. So if you just chug it down, you're missing the first couple steps of digestion. Now when you're making a smoothie or juice, the cool thing is step number 1 of digestion, chewing and breaking the cell wall, that's already done for you. So you just need to start with the mixing it with saliva step. Yes? Anybody else? Yes?
Some people say not to drink 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drink any liquids.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you advise on that?
Oh, actually, that's I'm a little more strict than that. So what happens is when you're drinking a beverage, it dilutes all your stomach acid. Okay, so you want to have the optimal stomach acid environment when you put food in your stomach. So drinking dilutes that. So usually when you drink a beverage, it takes between 20 minutes and 40 minutes for the beverage to go through your stomach and then for the acids to get back up to level again. So I would wait, 20 to 40 minutes before you eat, and then after you eat, it takes, depending on how long it takes for gastric emptying, which is how long it takes for your stomach to churn it all around and then put it into your intestines. That usually takes around 2 hours. So I would say,
Like 40 minutes before it's 2 hours.
exactly, that's more of a healthful way to look at water consumption. So when you're eating, washing down your meal with beverage or soda or water or anything like that, you're really doing yourself a disservice because you're diluting your stomach acid and you're ruining that part of digestion. So drinking before and after meal, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, and then 2 hours after is the best. Yes? Yes? Yeah, absolutely. If you can go to a farmer's market and get your produce at a farmer's market, that's organic, that's local, that's fresh, it was just picked that morning, that's the best place you can get your produce, absolutely. And plastic, any kind of plastic, so canned food, the inside of the can is lined with plastic, okay? Your bottled water, if it's been in there for more than a few minutes, it's starting to absorb those plastic toxins, especially if your water bottle's been frozen or cooled or heated. That releases the toxins even faster. Here's what I do, and this is what I recommend. Here's my water bottle. It's like $2. You get a Voss water bottle, and it's filled with bottled water, but then you can just keep refilling your glass water bottle. This isn't going to matter if it gets hot or cold. It's not going to matter. You're not going to be sucking in any plastic toxins from here. The xenoestrogens in plastic are high contributors to cancer and reproductive disorders and all sorts of diseases. So anything you can do to reduce your contact with any kind of plastics in canned food, in bottled water, in your Tupperware, your storage devices, all of that stuff, you're getting tons and tons of plastics, toxins, and xenoestrogens. And anything you can do to avoid that is only going to benefit your health and cause you to live a longer, happier, healthier life. Okay. I've got one more recipe to show you, but we're almost out of time. Do you want me to do it or do you want me to end? Do it? Okay, we're going to do it. This is awesome. We all know about Japan, radioactive isotopes and radiation that's coming to us all the time. We also have cosmic radiation hitting us all the time. We've got 300 nuclear detonations in Nevada, which is not that far away from us, that we're being exposed to this all of the time. We can't avoid it. And since we can't avoid it, there's only one thing we can do, and that's figure out how to get those radioactive isotopes, all that radiation out of our body and cleanse it so it's not damaging our DNA and so it's not causing us and our posterity problems in the future, okay? And 2 months ago, I went to a really amazing conference that was talking about how you can just take your nutrition to the next level. And prior to that conference, I thought, well, there's nothing I can do about radiation. You know, I can drink my cilantro juice, and because that's a really good way to get radiation out of your body, but it's pretty limited. And all I can do is just eat a whole foods, high rod, plant-based diet and hope for the best, drink a lot of water. But they showed us 2 things that we can do to get those radioactive particles out of your body, out of your blood, and also to cleanse your body on all levels for all organs. And it was pretty darn amazing. So I want to show you one of these recipes, and it's pretty easy to make, and it's delicious. Now, when we were there, they were selling paper cups. I'm like putting this into perspective. They were selling cups of this soup, not this size, but a little bit smaller than this size of cup. They were selling this soup at the conference. Guess how much a small cup of soup was? No, $20, okay? This is how valuable this stuff is. I just want to put this in perspective. This is the healing properties, and this is the awesome, amazing, powerful food of the gods that we've got in this soup, okay? This is one of the most powerful things you can do to cleanse your body, not just radioactive stuff, but on every level with every organ. And I ate this soup, and seriously, like, it made me feel so amazing. I was craving it. At $20 a pop, I was eating 1 or 2 of these a day, and it made me feel so great. And it cleansed me, and I lost 5 pounds in a week just because I was eating lots of soup and lots of other stuff. But it was incredible. So I want to share this with you. Huh? Yes, all of these things are in my recipe book. The book I'm offering today, it's called a 10-day cleanse menu plan. And what I've got in there is for 10 days, I've got it all mapped out. A juice every day, a smoothie every day, a hearty salad that'll fill you up every day, and a hearty meal like a grain bowl or a bean dish or something like that. So we've got 10 days, one of all of those things, a different recipe every single day, so that you can try out a variety of cleansing things. The most cleansing things you can do: juices, smoothies, salads, and of course the seaweed soup is going to be in there. So all the recipes I've done here, and I've already done 3 other classes at the Other Good Earth, so all those recipes will be in there as well as bonuses. So that book, if you're interested in that 10-day menu plan, that's going to be $20, and it's a digital book that you can download at home and you can print off and use however you want. However, I wanted to offer other things as well, because I know a lot of you are interested in my probiotic book. I also have a book with like 30 or 40 different kinds of salads. I've got another book that has lots of smoothie and juice recipes in it. And so I know a lot of people are interested in that whole combo package. So if you want all 4 of those books, I'm going to give that to you for $40. So that's $10 a book, which is basically 50% off the regular price. So if you're interested in that, you can talk to Brian in the back on your way out, and he can set you up with that. And I have one more exciting thing to tell you. Okay, I've had lots of requests for a live event. People have been asking me, can you give me coaching? I want some private coaching with you. I want you to teach me what you know and teach me how you figured all this out. And I don't have time for one-on-one coaching, but what I do have time for is group coaching. And so I've set up a really amazing event. And what it's going to be is 7 weeks of group coaching. You get 2 hours per week of group coaching where everybody gets on a webinar or a teleseminar, so you can get on with your phone or your computer, and everybody listens to me talk about my top 7 topics that people ask me about all the time, over and over and over again, the things that'll change your life really quickly. So every week we're going to do that for 2 hours or an hour and a half, and then the last half hour will be question and answer, where you can tell me about your different problems and we can address certain specific issues that you have. So that's what is going to happen for 7 weeks. And then at the end of those 7 weeks, I'm going to have an all-day live conference in Sandy from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm going to be speaking about all the amazing things that you can do to transform your life right now. And I'm inviting some health professionals that taught me what I know. For instance, I just got one of my friends, Craig Dinley. He's the guy that taught me how to be an herbalist. Okay, I took a lot of my herbal training from him. He's going to come and teach you what he taught me about herbalism, and specifically about all the herbs that are available in our region right here. He's going to teach you how to heal your body with herbs. I'm going to invite other health experts that have taught me the things that I know and the ones that I look up to and respect the most. So it's going to be them and me teaching you all day in this amazing live conference. So if you're interested in the 7 weeks of group coaching and the full day live conference, it's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I want you to have it, so I'm going to give you a deal for $100 for 7 weeks of coaching and the full day of live coaching, the live event. And if you buy today, I'll give you the 4-book package for free. I'll just throw that in, because I love you and y'all showed up for a class on Saturday, okay? So if you're interested in any of that, that's what I have to offer. This is my response to all the requests I've been getting, like, please, I want to know more. An hour and a half is not enough. So if you're interested, talk to Brian on the way out. Okay, seaweed soup. You definitely need a Vitamix for this guy, because seaweed is kind of tough. People ask me what kind of seaweed I get. You can use any kind of seaweed. Make sure it's from a clean source. I like this Eden brand, or you can get organic seaweed. Anything that's certified organic, you'll know that it's not coming from toxic waters. So you want to make sure it's a clean source. And you put it in a bowl with water and soak it for 10 minutes, or a little bit longer if you're teaching a class and you forgot about it. Looks good, huh? Like, how many of you are going to eat that for breakfast? Not going to happen. So we're going to make this into something that is amazing health-wise, and it's also delicious, okay? So we're going to throw all that stuff in there. Yeah. Sorry? You can do it in another blender if you want. It's just not going to turn out as smooth, so it'll work. It's better to do it in what you've got than to not do it at all, okay? So first ingredient is seaweed. The second ingredient, I'm going to put in some herbal tea. Now you could just put water in here if you want, but anything you can add to power up the nutritional value and the cleansing property is going to be good. So this is one of my favorite teas. It's called Gynostemma tea. If you want to look at it, you can come up and look at it after class. And it's got really great building and cleansing properties to this tea. So I'm going to put that in there instead of water. But you can just use water if you want. Next ingredient is miso. Miso is a fermented soybean paste. But what miso does, it's very cleansing and very detoxifying. This is another thing that can detoxify you from radiation. So miso is a really amazing food. And it's full of probiotics. It's full of enzymes. So this hits all of our things that we're trying to do in our creating a cleansing environment. So the seaweed, oh, did I tell you about seaweed? This pulls everything out of your body, like all the toxins. It is going to absorb all sorts of toxins out of your body, and it's kind of like fiber. It just absorbs multiple times its weight in toxins, and plus it's very high in minerals and it's very high in enzymes. So again, we're doing the enzymes, the minerals, and the probiotics. And this is just another kind because I ran out of the first kind. This kind you can get at Good Earth. It's over there in the shelves. Huh. Right, so soy products are very hard to digest, and they're not really contributing to your health unless they're fermented soy products. So the fermented soy products you can use is miso, tempeh, natto, and tamari. So those are fermented soy products that your body can use, and they're beneficial for your body, but I wouldn't recommend soy products that are not fermented. Okay, what else have we got in here? Garlic. Garlic is a cruciferous vegetable. It's antiviral, it's antibacterial, it's antifungal, and it's a very, very cleansing herb. This is awesome for you. It'll protect you against flus and colds, and it lowers your blood pressure, and it gets rid of cholesterol in your veins. It's awesome. So anything you can put raw garlic in is going to be amazing. Then I've got some ginger. It's in there, like everything in here has a very powerful purpose, okay? It's still going to taste great, don't worry, but everything in here, we're not just throwing things in willy-nilly for no reason at all. Everything in here is in here for a powerful health and healing purpose. Ginger is going to increase your digestion. It's also going to be great with the flavor. And I'm going to throw in some lemon. I see lots of incredulous faces out there like, are you kidding me? Are you joking? No, just wait. You guys are going to love it, I promise. Well, most of you will love it. And if you don't, that's okay. So I'm going to throw in some lemon. We've already talked a bunch of times about what that does. How'd you guys like the samples so far? Good? Awesome. Okay, a little bit more lemon. It just kind of messes with the texture and the flavor. That's all. You could if you wanted to. It wouldn't hurt anything. Okay, there's the lemon. Now let's add in some coconut oil. This is unprocessed, extra virgin raw coconut oil. So I'm just going to put a few spoonfuls of that in. Coconut oil is really amazing. It's a good cleanser. It builds your skin. It heals your skin. When you eat coconut oil, it makes it so your body doesn't have to use so much vitamin E. So it's actually an antioxidant enhancer. It also is brain food. They've done research with coconut oil, and they've given it to Alzheimer's patients, and at certain doses, the Alzheimer's patient's symptoms started to reverse because coconut oil is such an amazing brain food. It's exactly the type of energy and food your brain needs. This is natural taco seasoning, okay? The only thing that's in there, it's onion, chili pepper, garlic, paprika, cumin, tomato powder, oregano. Okay, so there's no fillers, no MSG, no other garbage in there. It's just all lots of good spices. And spices are prebiotic. Spices are powerful herbs and powerful healers, and they make things taste really good on top of it. Sure, a prebiotic is what feeds the probiotics. So all the friendly bacteria in your gut, the probiotics, they need something to eat, and what they eat is prebiotics. And herbs are one of the great prebiotics that feed the probiotics to make them nice and healthy and robust, so they don't starve to death. This is astragalus. This is an adaptogenic herb. Astragalus, as an adaptogenic herb, means that this herb, once you take it into your body, it does whatever your body needs. Now, as an herbalist, I've been reading and studying this for a long time, and it still kind of blows my mind that these herbs are like super smart herbs, right? Whatever your body needs, adaptogenic herbs fill that need. And so astragalus is one of those things. So not only is it building, but it addresses whatever health issue you're having a problem with. Astragalus. Yes, it's over in their bulk herb section. This is another adaptogenic herb. It's called ashwagandha. And this is the same. It's a different herb, but it has different properties than the astragalus, but this is also an adaptogenic herb that is going to meet you where you're at and give you the support and the nutrition and the medicine you need for whatever part of your body you need it for. And you can get both of these here. Ashwagandha, Ashwagandha. Okay, so we've got the seaweed, the tea, the miso, coconut oil, lemon, astragalus, ashwagandha, taco seasoning, ginger, garlic. Ta-da! All right, let's blend this baby up. done. Now you guys see how I cook at home? It's pretty wild, huh? Okay. So I've got the recipe. I've got all the measurements in the cookbook. I just didn't measure things out before we got here, so we just had to wing it. So can you guys see? This is not just dinner, okay? This is an amazing, healing, synergistic food blend. You know what synergy means? Synergy means when you combine certain things together, they work in a way that 1 + 1 is not 2 anymore. 1 + 1 = 100, okay? Because all the good things in each individual thing work together and synergize to make something that's way bigger than the sum of the parts. Does that make sense? So this is a synergistic, amazing food of the gods. This is amazing stuff, okay? So you've seen what it can do for your body. I'll let you give it a taste. If I was doing this at home, you can either just let it keep running in the blender for like 5 minutes and it will warm up because the blades, the friction of the blades will warm it up. Or you can stick it in a crock pot or put it on a low heat. You don't want to boil this. You don't want to heat it up to a high heat because, of course, you'll kill the enzymes. You'll kill the nutrients. Just heat it up till it's warm enough where you want it to be and then eat it like that, and just be very careful with the temperature. It's going to be a little cooler than I would normally serve it, but in order to get you guys so you can go home, I'm going to serve it like this. You can taste it and then go home and modify it. Before we leave, do we have any questions? Yes?
I sent it to the class.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
How do you get the
Tell Brian you just bought the class and he'll hook you up.
Brian, I just bought it.
See him on the way out the door. What else? Yes?
When is the 7-week training?
The 7-week training starts on Wednesday, and it will be this week Wednesday, and it will be every Wednesday for the next 7 weeks. But if you can't make it, I'm recording every single call. So if you buy the package, I'll send you the recordings of the calls, and you can still have all that content. Okay? Any other question? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the online coaching starts Wednesday, and it's every Wednesday for the next 7 weeks, and then September 8th is the live event. That's a Saturday, and it's September 8th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be from noon to 2. I couldn't find a time that worked for everybody, so we're doing it at noon to 2. If you can't make it, again, I'll record the whole thing, and we can send you the MP3, and you can have the whole recording of the whole call. What else? Yes? I do not. Bragg's aminos, I personally have bad reactions, and a lot of my clients have had bad reactions. I prefer a tamari instead, so I get the gluten-free, low-salt tamari, and they have that here at Good Earth, and I find that people react to that a lot better. The Bragg's tends to have a little more of, I believe it's glutamate or glutamic acid or something, that is similar to monosodium glutamate, so people start getting that type of reaction where they don't get it so much with the gluten-free, low-salt tamari. Any other questions? Yes? It is pricey, and I try to get everything I can online in bulk. People ask me, how do you afford all of this, expensive food? And I have two answers to that. Answer number one is I buy everything in bulk. I don't just buy, a little tiny thing of coconut oil. I buy gallons at a time, and then you can get it at half price or less. Same with seaweed, same with everything else. So buy it in bulk. And then my second answer to that question, if you're buying in bulk and you still think it's expensive, my answer is you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. You can pay now to build your healthy cells. You can pay now to build a healthy body so you can be healthy forever, or you're going to pay later in the form of hospital bills, sickness, missed work, disability, all that kind of stuff. And actually, when you calculate it out dollar for dollar, even if you're not buying in bulk and you're just buying lots of expensive food not in bulk, it's still so much cheaper and so much more convenience to prevent instead of have to treat in the end. So we're choosing the best foods possible. Are they more expensive than mac and cheese and top ramen? Absolutely, but we're going to build a mansion instead of a little shack, okay? And that's the point. Yes? Not yet, but I'm coming. My new website is about to launch in a couple weeks, and that will have all the resources on it. So I don't currently have the resources on my website, but give me a few weeks, and then I will. Yes? Uh-huh. Sure, yeah, I just answered that. I'm going to record everything. And so if you miss it, I'll send you the recording and you can have, even if you don't miss it, even if you're there, I'm going to send you the recording and you'll have lifetime access to all the recordings of the calls and also the live event. So because at the live event, it's going to be a lot of information. It's going to probably fly over your head, a lot of it. So you're going to have that recording so you can watch it over and over again. Any other questions? All right, well, oh, yes? Whenever you want, the training starts on Wednesday. You can do it right here at the back, or you can do it online. Also I have, because the social aspect of eating is so important, I also did a group discount that will give you an even better deal. If you and 3 of your friends sign up at the same time, instead of buying 4 tickets for $400, you get 4 tickets for $300. So I'll give you 1 free ticket if you buy 3. Okay, so that's to encourage you to bring your friends and family and make this a social commitment as well as a personal commitment. Anything else? Yes? It's all the same price, so basically you pay for one and get the other free. So. No. You can either call in on the phone and listen to it on the phone, or you can log into a website and listen to it via the website. Yeah, so you can choose which way works best for you. Any other questions? I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for spending your Saturday with me. Bless you all, and I hope to see you soon.